Yo, YouTube, what's up with your boy? Sports and Fitness Rants. I'm back, guys. Click that like button. Subscribe to my channel. Ladies and gentlemen, on my channel, I'm always telling you guys, live an active lifestyle, make smart nutritional choices, move more and sit less. Fight against the laziness. It's not about perfection, but about consistency. It's not about what you look like in the mirror, but about how you feel, ladies and gentlemen. And I've told you guys, the world is your playground. It doesn't matter where you go. You don't need no damn gym membership, man. You don't need no fancy gym. You don't need fancy equipment. You don't need any of this stuff, ladies and gentlemen. What you need is your mind. And what you need is to fight against that laziness. So I've told you guys many times on this channel to use what's around you. Use the stuff that's around you. I told you, I don't buy fancy equipment. I use rocks. I use different things that's in the environment because the world, once again, is the playground, ladies and gentlemen. So as you guys can see, I'm on the beach. And somehow, some way, I was still able to find this big piece of concrete under the boardwalk here. So once again, I told you guys, you don't need any fancy equipment. You don't need anything special. You have to look around, use your mind, and use the world around you as your playground, as your gym. So I've told you guys about plyometric training. I've told you guys about being explosive, training for power, things of that nature. So when we think about this piece of concrete, something simple that we can do with this piece of concrete, guys. This is not that heavy, maybe 30 pounds, maybe. So when we do to work on our explosion, right, it's the power that we're working on. How much force can we generate? So a simple thing we can do is we're gonna take this piece of concrete, we're gonna come down here, and we're gonna explode over the top. Same thing, we're gonna do this for reps. 3 to 5 reps, nothing crazy when you're training for explosion. Same thing, ladies and gentlemen, right? Make sure your technique is good. Make sure your form is good on these plyometric exercises. Now remember, the main thing when we're exercising, when we're doing these things, is we want to be smart. We don't want to get injured. We don't want to hurt ourselves, because if we're hurt, then we can't do anything, right? If you're hurt, then you're useless. You're worthless. You can't do nothing. Maybe you can't go to work, right? Maybe your livelihood is the ability for you to move around and do things. So a lot of us work manual labor jobs. How are you going to do your job if you hurt yourself? So when we're exercising, the goal is not to go crazy or to be an ego lifter or to worry exactly how much weight we're lifting to be the strongest person in the world. The key with fitness and exercise is movement. You want to be able to move better. That's the key here. As we get older in life, you see people move slower and slower. They talk slower, they think slower, and they move slow. So as you get older, you must continue to think about how you're training. Smarter, not harder necessarily. Don't worry about how much weight you're lifting necessarily. Don't worry about how you look in the mirror necessarily, but worry about how you're feeling and how you're moving, right? So if something's bothering you, you're not gonna move that well. So when we're training, we must be smart when we're training, and we don't wanna hurt ourselves when we're doing this stuff. So when we're doing explosive movements, like throwing this rock or a piece of concrete, we wanna make sure that we're not bending our backs, right? And doing anything wrong or doing anything that would hurt us, right? So we're getting down, we're bending these knees, we're keeping that back nice and tight, and then we're exploding with the movement. So remember, ladies and gentlemen, for plyometrics, it's not about the reps that really matters. It's the quality of the reps when we're doing plyometrics. So if you're doing the burpees, if you're doing these clap push-ups, if you're doing these jump squats, the jump lunges, all these kinds of things, then you must make sure that your technique is great. And it's not about the amount of reps, but the quality of reps when it comes to plyometric training. If you're doing plyometrics, if I'm doing jump lunges, and all of a sudden I feel my form breaking down, right? I'm starting to round my back, my knees are starting to flare, I'm starting to get a loop, then you should stop. Whenever your form starts to break down these plyometrics, that's when you should stop doing these plyometric exercises. Take a break, take a breather, and then come back for another set. That's what you want to think about. So as I told you guys, I said I found this, guys, out here on the beach. So you don't need anything fancy. I actually went out and looked for this, right? So this is the effort that I'm talking about. It has to matter to you. It has to care. You have to care about this stuff. I tell people all the time, man, I don't look like this by accident. I don't feel the way I feel, and I don't move the way that I do by accident. I've been into health and fitness for over 20 years, ladies and gentlemen. So once again, it's not about perfection. I've missed workouts. I've taken days off. I've eaten cookies and cakes and donuts and ice cream, and I've drank soda in my life, all of this stuff. If anyone tells you they're perfect, they're lying to you, and you shouldn't be listening to those people, because it's not about perfection in this world, because nobody's perfect, ladies and gentlemen. It's the consistency at which we're doing these things. You are the result of the choices that you make in your life. And as you can see in this world, we look like hell because people's choices are crap. They make crap choices consistently. And then they wonder why they have no energy, why they look the way they do, why they feel the way they do. Stop looking for an excuse. If you're looking for an excuse, you're always gonna find one. There are no excuses in this life. There's no excuse in this world. Get your butt up, get moving and go do something. People sleeping on vacation, 8, 9, 10, 11 o'clock. What are you doing? You were sleeping yourself to an early grave. You're sitting yourself to an early grave and you don't give a damn. So why should we care about you? Everybody wants sympathy from somebody. Everybody wants to play the victim. Everybody wants to be, oh man, you guys should accept me for the way that I am. Damn that, I don't have to accept you, and I will not accept you because you have become a burden on society. People out here become burdens on society. They're a burden on themselves. And I'm supposed to accept that nonsense? Hell no. And I've told you I will not, ladies and gentlemen. You shouldn't accept that for yourself. And the people around you shouldn't accept that. Remember to motivate and inspire the people around you. Every little choice you make, people are watching everything you do. I'm sitting out here making this video. I got people looking at me. But once again, people are looking at you because maybe you're doing something different than they are. Maybe you inspired them, so they're looking at you for that way. So don't always think that someone's looking at you because they think you look ugly or they think you look weird or something. Maybe you're inspiring these people. Maybe you're doing something that they never thought about doing. Maybe you're doing a workout they never saw, right? Maybe you're doing something they never saw being done before. Like I said, guys, I've been coming out here for over 20 years to this beach, man. And I don't see people doing this kind of stuff. I don't see people out here on the beach working out in the morning. Like I said, what I see on the beach, a lot of people out here being lazy, people with beer in their hands all day long. People just drinking and drinking and drinking, man. This is what we do out here in society now. And like I said, then people wonder why. They look the way they do, they feel the way they do. You guys know that.